Hey guys, it's David here, and welcome to Hot Tuck Tapes Part 2 this week. I'm talking about Untucked for Season 9, Episode 11. If you want to see my coverage of the actual episode, go to Part 1 of this review, which will be linked right here on a card. It'll pop up. As always, spoiler alert, but if y'all are watching this video, you're probably not brand new. And disclaimer, I'm not a drag queen, I'm not an expert in drag, I'm just a fan of the show, chatting about it with you guys on the interwebs. So, with that out of the way, here we go. I was expecting a lot out of this Untucked, being that it's the episode where they tell the judges which queens should go home, and I've gotta say, this Untucked followed the trend this season of being a little bit underwhelming in the drama department. It basically broke down into two parts. The first was a series of exchanges between the queens that could have potentially been very interesting, and the second half being an overly drawn out send-off to a queen who we all knew was going home this week. We had all been waiting to go home, and who we really didn't care too much about on the whole. At the start of this Untucked, we have Sasha and Shea apologizing to Alexis, basically, for picking her and trying to explain why they picked her in a way that will hopefully not hurt her feelings after getting all the critiques from the judges. Up until Alexis has to turn this into like whatever she's turning it into, saying, you know, I take it as a compliment that you chose me. I know that you view me as a threat. I'm not sure if she just got it confused with why Peppermint chose Trinity as her queen that should go home. There are a couple really funny screenshots where it's just Sasha and Shea reacting to the nonsense that is spewing out of Alexis's mouth, which I will share with you on the screen right now. I love that Sasha is literally like holding back laughter as she is reaffirming to Alexis that she did in fact choose her because her outfits were not as good. If you watch Shea and Sasha through this entire thing, they are really trying to keep it together. I love how Peppermint stood up for her outfit, threw down the hat, was like, I made all of this and I don't even really sew all that much. And then Sasha's coming in saying, well, I sewed my outfit too, or whatever. But you know, Peppermint standing up for her outfit was great. It is supposed to be costumey. This is drag. As long as it is done well, then it should be over the top. The issue with a complaint about it being costumey is usually that it looks like a cheap costume, which is a critique that Alexis just got last week. I love that Trinity came in and was like, listen, Alexis, your look looks like something you would wear. And that shade just like went right above Alexis's head. Trinity's whole handling of this moment, as always, was, you know, very positive. And when she's encouraging Alexis about the lip sync and just saying, you know, you've got to have fun with it, I think that as bitchy as Trinity can be and as straightforward as her critiques can be, she always focuses on the positive, especially when she's talking to a contestant she knows is about to go home. Also, this whole repeating thing with Alexis saying, you guys didn't tell me how bad I looked in the workroom, and then Trinity calls her out and is like, listen, I told you that the hair would have been better as a braid, and Alexis has nothing to say to that in that whatever that wig was. I agree, I think a braid would have looked more dynamic for the record. Probably wouldn't have saved this outfit though. So then Alexis gets her video message from her parents, which was interesting timing given that she even probably knew she was going home at this point. All the queens are doing their best to manage with the dramatics of a crying Alexis, and you know, they're all trying to comfort her, but at the same time you can tell they all basically know that she is definitely going to be the one to go home this week. And I think once again Trinity handled this the best. She's just saying, you know, you still got to give a fight, you've still got to have fun with your lip sync. And the facade among the queens breaks when Trinity says, this could keep you here, and Shea just looks over her like, what are you talking about? Whatever. If you go back and you watch the clip, it's like, Shea, come on, stay in character. So Alexis turns off the waterworks, goes and listens to her iPod preparing for the lip sync, and Shea says that her pussy is burning, which I don't know what she really means by that. Nonetheless, we still get a cheeky moment from the editor zooming in on a sign that says, hot work permit required in this area, while Shea is talking about her fiery nether regions. And then we get to a conversation that is really the most interesting part of this Untucked for me. I would have liked to see it continued for many, many more minutes of this, you know, short 20-something minute Untucked. Trinity confronts Shea about her rainbow look not being rainbow. Shea tries to give Trinity a talk about fashion, and it's supposed to be about how you feel in it and how you make other people feel, and Trinity is sticking to the fact that it just like was not rainbow. Sasha tries to play middle ground, being like, well, you had it and it worked for the challenge. And I side with Trinity on this one, because it's like, I think at this point worked for the challenge, and kind of just like taking a gown that you think looks amazing and then trying to suit it to the challenge rather than actually tailor something for what is being asked is, you know, I'm still sad that Shea won this challenge. I know some of you guys disagreed with me, but like, Oof, I do not think she deserved this win. I also appreciate Trinity's humility where she says, you know, my rainbow look was what it was. Like, I'm not saying that my outfit was better than yours. In this moment, it was apparent to me that Trinity was really genuinely asking this question to learn more and to grow, as opposed to just kind of calling out Shea to criticize her. And the second that Shea mentioned pageants and says, you know, they are more rigid, the world of pageantry is a little bit different than the world of RuPaul's Drag Race, even though it's technically a pageant. They cut it off and they're like, 5 minutes to go. And I know this conversation must have gone on. Like, I genuinely checked to see how much more time there was of the Untucked once we got to the black and white slow motion dancing in the mirror from Alexis Michelle. We did get to see Peppermint, you know, setting up the wig reveal, which was a nice little touch. But when I checked the time and I was like, wow, we are 10 minutes in, that's all that it's been, and that's all of the group chat we're gonna have. And we're gonna have 10 whole minutes saying goodbye to Alexis. Oh my God. I was frustrated by that choice for sure. Because what I love most about the Untucked is seeing the whole group together. I think that they already have a send-off on the show of the queen who's eliminated saying their goodbyes. And yeah, seeing them pack up and everything is nice, but like, these Untucks are starting to get a little lopsided. And so with one last little zoom up on Alexis's T-strap shoes, we get to the lip sync. Alexis is being, you know, sent home, and I do want to say, to her credit, she tried out 8 times. They made sure to mention that at least 8 times, but nonetheless, she is obviously very committed to this show, and she did get to top 5, and that's nothing to scoff at. I will say that when she was packing up her stuff, she had a lot of gorgeous gown looks. Also in the Whatcha Packin', where Michelle interviewed her, Michelle told Alexis, you have an old soul. I feel like you could have really incorporated more gowns because, you know, you have that classy vibe to you, and I completely agree. When I saw her meet the queens in that amazing yellow spiky number, I was like, okay, she's, you know, a very practiced, very like put together queen, and that is certainly not what she showcased on the show. As she was packing, she just kept showing all of these, you know, beaded gowns, sequins, whatever it was, and I don't know if she was trying to go for like a younger look on the show, and that's why she was wearing so much of this ready-to-wear stuff, but I definitely feel like she would have been better off if she had showcased some of those beautiful gowns that she was just packing away. She says, oh, maybe an All-Stars 3, and I'm like, maybe they'll cast you if they want you to be like the Fifi O'Hara of the season. Also, a little side note about Whatcha Packin', the show where Michelle interviews the person who just went home. Have you noticed they all have beards? I don't know if this is something that is just like a hell of a coincidence, but I feel like for some reason they have been told to have facial hair. Maybe it's like to showcase their boy look because they weren't able to have a scruff on the show. So it adds diversity to their brand or something. But if any of you guys have any insight about the beards, let me know. So Alexis squeezes that last little bit of screen time, going to blow a kiss to the RuPaul mannequin, you know, the drama of it all, and heads in the car, and then leaves with a suitable last little catchphrase, Subway fish out, as if we ever were going to forget that wonderful, wonderful interpretation of the Princess Challenge. Subway fish. Anyway, all the best to Alexis. This, as I said, was not a surprise of an elimination, especially this far into the competition, but she did leave on a good note. She said, you know, this shows your dreams really can come true if you keep working for it. So I hope that people at least got that out of her time on the show. Some sort of inspiration from her finally making it after 8 times auditioning. And now we're at the top 4, and I'm super excited to see how next week goes and the finale and who wins. I'm still rooting for Trinity. Let me know who you're rooting for in the comments as always, and please let me know what you thought of this Untucked and this review. And other than that, I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Okay, bye. Now everybody seems to be just fine, circling a line, but I just want somebody to call mine, a little romantic with candles on the side, hearing you giggle, heavily breathe down your spine. Now I've gone through the chapters, the pages, and the scenes, but nobody ever completing this thing.